You are about to hear game analysis for one or several matches in 2026 FIFA World Cup. Alright guys, let's talk today what we've seen at round of 32, first two games, FIFA World Cup of 2026. First game, first match, Ivory Coast Norway. Guys, I like that game. Maybe it wasn't the best game that you will see. In fact, France versus Sweden was better game, probably quite measurably better. But what I loved about Ivory Coast Norway game is that Ivory Coast showed such a great work with the football. They had such a cohesion, like a teamwork, these touches, this precision in their touches and everything. Such a good thing. But Norwegians, on their own, they were pretty good in counter-attacking, and they did a good job. Now I might saw why coach benched Holland for the last game in the group. Holland did not look very fresh today. No, he didn't. He looked like overworked man. I don't know why, because he spent whole game like it's been a while since he played last time. And the goal that he scored, it's more like a goal scored him. He really stumbled into that ball, but they all count. It's unfortunate for Ivory Coast, but they are out. Uh, what would I do better if I was Ivory Coast to win this game? I guess it wasn't really possible to speed up things at the end of the game in this heat and this weather, but in the middle of the game somewhere, I would just start playing faster, just faster ball release in opponent's zone, just quicker, just pass quicker, just um, cross ball quicker, just do it quicker before defense settles. Because while it was looking very beautiful the way Ivory Coast played, there was a little bit of this lack of this quickness and defenders were able to settle and defend very well. And of course, uh, the save that Norwegian goalkeeper did in the last minute, that basically kept Norway. Actually, I should say like just moved Norway to the next round. Definitely saved their day. Uh, yeah, we don't know. Maybe Norway would win in extra time or penalty kicks, but the goalkeeper just saved them from that because, for example, Haaland was already very tired. I don't know, but other Norwegian players they seem to go fast on the counters, and of course, just technique from Ivory Coast. It was just amazing. I just wish they did more of a playing like France. Of course, Norway potentially has better defense than Sweden, and Ivory Coast uh, attackers are not as good as, let's say, French ones. But yeah, but that's what was really missing. Like Ivory Coast created good chances, but Norwegians were also creating, especially in the end of first half. Norwegians were just running all over the Ivory Coast for the last 5 minutes, uh, and that's what Ivory Coast was missing. They needed to create a little bit of havoc in the Norwegian penalty area. Uh, and I guess because of that, they're out and Norway goes on. Let's go to France. I predicted that France would not have much trouble to defeat Sweden. Yes, Sweden could have scored one goal or two goals. I don't mean in a game, I just in general, just saying, like, in my prediction, I thought Sweden could score one or two goals, but France would always be good for four, for 4 goals or maybe even five. That was my prediction, and I actually said that. If you think about looking back into other my videos where I predicted this. Now, France, of course, allowed Sweden quite a few good chances. Sweden only can blame themselves that they did not score. Uh, but France was just unbelievable. Alice, when Mbappe was scoring his first goal, right? I was watching. There was a corner kick first, and Mbappe was on a back post. and he was like sneaking in. And I was thinking, do Swedish defenders actually know that Mbappe is stalking them? And then ball went from corner to next play, and Mbappe was still hanging there around. And then all you know that ball just comes to him and he scores. Okay, excellent goal. Actually, somewhat similar goal to what Ivory Coast player scored. Yeah, we had some beautiful plays today, guys. Of course, Michael Elise does this half bicycle kick, side kick, whatever. Oh, it was beautiful. That guy was just outstanding today. His shots were tremendous. Uh, it just was real pleasure to see, and the way players play in this very hot stadium in New York, New Jersey. It's an open stadium also, so they got all the heat on themselves. I hope they can restore themselves before the next match. Yeah, it was a great game. And Sweden, I mean, Sweden is Sweden. They made mistakes in defense, right? I mean, you can't cover. How you can cover all these guys? Sometimes teams have like a star player, like a Messi, right? And you cover Messi, right? Who else right now in Argentina is super special? Pretty much nobody is super special like Messi, right? And everybody trying to cover Messi. But that's what's interesting about France. Who you gonna cover? Olise, Barcala, Mbappe, uh, what's his name? Oh my God, number seven. Yes, basically, you have so many players to watch after. Of course, you can't stretch yourself this much. The goalkeeper for Sweden already did more than he could. So it was really, you know, game you could enjoy. I mean, what can I say? Sweden, also remember, Sweden basically barely qualified to the World Cup. They did not win their group or anything like that. They had to go through playoffs. Uh, they had some team changes and so on. I mean, they do have some good players, of course. And did you see that interesting, like a special play from the free kick Swedish had? They uh, they have this kind of like thing in them. I remember in 1994, it was also in US when Sweden actually had this incredible free kick when they played it, and they completely bamboozled. I think they played against Romania. This one was one of the most beautiful goals, right? They had really good players back then. And what can I say? I mean, there is nothing they can do. Literally, it has to be like heroical. If we go back to Germany, Paraguay, Paraguay was heroical, but Germany wasn't playing their best. I mean, they could not even use the tactics where they can prevail, like making high crosses and use their height, advantage in their height over Paraguayan players. Try to go with headers. Germany did not even do that. So it will be very good. Now, back to Ivory Coast, Norway. I must say that I I used to say before that hey, we need Norway to play in their full strength and against a strong opponent to see their true worth. So today was like, okay, they passed the test, but barely, barely, because Ivory Coast was somewhat better than Norway. Norway have strong counterattacks, but Ivory Coast was playing more beautiful game. They just weren't like sharp, you know, in the very end of their attacks, right? Very end of their attacking wasn't super sharp for the Ivory Coast, but generally their play is so beautiful, it's amazing. Almost like France. I'm not even sure if France has this beautiful play. France just has this, they have so much talent. They are like water go through the cracks. That's how these talented players go through defense of their opponents. And the good thing is that the player who has the ball, he always knows how to select the target for the pass. And that's what makes difference between France and other teams at this point. Can they have a bad game? Sure, they can have a bad game one day. But as it stands right now, it seems like we will be treated to a quarterfinal between Morocco and France. Just the way I think, the way I think it stands right now, right? Because I think Morocco will defeat Canada, even in a bad day. And France will not repeat mistakes of the Germans. So that's my opinion, and I hope you enjoy your games. And see you next review.